This week we're helping a young couple with a patio makeover that's as much about recycling as renovation.
You're embarrassing me.
Okay, get up.
I've been helping homeowners improve their home for a lot of years. They think it's intimidating, but it actually can be a lot of fun.
And we're here to help. Dad's the expert, but I've learned a few things along the way.
Practical, realistic home improvement information is what today's homeowner is all about. This little house was built about 60 years ago. Now it's home to Joe and Audra Ezig, along with their daughter, Arlo.
We've been in this house for 3 years now. Arlo was born a couple months after we moved in, and so we weren't able to do a lot of house renovations like we wanted to. You know, we love being outdoors and we love our backyard. That was one of the selling points that we had for the house.
We think we have a pretty good backyard, but the patio is definitely something where we could maybe have some improvements.
We like to do a lot of entertaining on that back patio, but it feels so closed off and cramped because it's got that retaining wall.
Has the patio been like this since you guys moved in?
We haven't done anything to it because we don't know how to do anything to it. We just know that we like being out on it.
What are some of the ideas you have then as far as improving it?
So we're hoping to kind of expand it out a little bit. Definitely take out this retaining wall that was a flower bed. We don't do flowers at all. It's not that they're not pretty, it's just that we don't have the time.
I'm actually very good at growing things, brown.
You have concrete there, you've got bricks, and then there's pavers.
From those 3 different levels, we have had multiple falls. It's as if they didn't know which design they wanted to do, and then they just gradually kept working onto it.
So you have a grill. Do you do much cooking out here then?
Yeah, a fair amount actually.
Do you do much cooking on your fire pit?
Oh yes, yes. We love cooking on our fire pit.
Maybe small meals?
Yeah. It's a Barbie fire pit. About this big.
I mean, if you want to cook cocktail weenies on it, you'd be good.
That's about what we can cook on it.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, that was his DIY project one Saturday.
Honestly, if you were to look up fire pit in the dictionary, that is the picture you would see. Like, it's probably the best construction.
So maybe if we could improve that one, y'all would enjoy a fire pit?
If you can improve on it,
Okay.
honestly, I think it turned out great.
We just walked up out here and we're already picking on them.
Yeah.
Probably what we need to do is see how the different homeowners put all of this together. I have a feeling this goes back a little ways.
Yeah.
So what will be a big question is whether or not we can take any of these pavers up, how it was put down. I don't know, it's gonna be quite a mystery when we
Lots
start
of head
tearing that up.
scratching?
Yeah, it sure is.
All right.
All right, well, we'll figure some things out and see what we can do on it and back in touch with you soon.
Okay.
Okay, all righty.
Hey Dad, I'd really hate to get rid of all of these pavers. Is there any way we can reuse them?
You know, they're really not in bad shape. I believe we'll be able to save just about every one of
I
them.
mean, they're in good shape.
And I love recycling like that. And just about 90% of these bricks we can save. Maybe even put in a respectable fire pit.
Oh, come on, don't pick on Joe already.
So besides replacing Joe's miniature fire pit, there's plenty of work to do on the patio. We'll remove the existing brick retaining wall and planter. Then we'll take up the existing pavers and, if needed, create a proper foundation before reinstalling them in a more interesting pattern and giving them some color. Finally, we'll add a concrete countertop to simplify entertaining.
We got started on the first day, and of course, Joe was able to find some kind of excuse. He claimed he had to work.
It's kind of like a archaeological dig, you know?
Yeah,
It's like that might have been 1958, that might have been 68, and this is 78.
all different levels, all different type of
Materials.
Well, that's good sign.
It comes up easy.
Yeah, well, let's see. I predict we will hit that concrete slab. Uh-oh. Well, you know, when you start any kind of demolition on any project, you really never know what you're gonna find, but I really expected to find a concrete slab down there.
Yeah, me too.
But since there's nothing but dirt, we'll have to create our own foundation. I have a couple guys coming to help us, Bear and Aaron, so we know we'll just make a clean slate, stack everything, and hope that we can get this mortar off of there pretty easy, so we can reuse every single one of these things. So that might be one of those nice jobs for old Joe tonight.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be the one staying up late because he's got to pick up those remaining hours that he was working.
Okay, so you don't have to hit it hard,
Okay.
but just go along and just bump these bricks off. I have a feeling it's not going to be hard.
So none of my home run swings in softball.
That's right, yeah, there
There
you
we
go.
go.
Exactly, just keep rolling right on down like
Yeah.
that.
Dad, what are you doing?
I got to do
Can
a
you
little
help us
repair.
move some bricks?
No, I got a little repair here.
Workplace hazard.
I thought we settled this boot situation a while ago, Dad.
But you see I'm having trouble with my shoe.
Oh no, that's why I'm ordering a new pair.
Oh, no, we can fix it right here. Here you
Oh,
go.
Dad, that is so
Here.
embarrassing.
Come on, help me out.
I'm not sure why it's still a problem. Those boots should not be here. That's
get this.
ridiculous.
I got to get this done before I get started. It worked well on the other shoe.
Also, buying new shoes works too.
I know, but I don't want to get them out here and get them dirty.
Well, that's the point of work boots. You're embarrassing me.
Regardless of whether you use a rake or a leaf blower to collect leaves and lawn debris, what do you do once you have it in a pile? How do you easily transport it into a trash can or your composting bin? Well, they do make claws and all kinds of implements for picking up leaves, or you can use a tarp, which I prefer. But I modified this tarp so it's perfect for this job. This is a 4 by 8 foot tarp that I folded in half. Then I stapled some wooden dowels. I rolled it up and stapled wooden dowels on the end. So you just lay it out right in front of your pile and you just rake it right on. And as small as this tarp is, when it's folded, it can hold a surprisingly large amount of leaves and grass clippings, twigs, that kind of thing. All right, that's enough for now. Now this is where those handles come in really handy, is that without them, the tarp is really flippy floppy and all the leaves would fall out. But with the handles, you can pick it right up. In fact, you can do it with one hand, put them together, and then just easily dump them right into the can.
We're helping Joe and Audra recycle their old patio into a more useful outdoor space. So it's time to remove the old pavers.
Is it a grout bed or something, Dad?
Just a little bit of mortar or concrete or something. Well, apparently under the pavers, someone thought by spreading just a little bit of mortar, a little bit of concrete, I mean a little, that it would take care of things. But obviously it didn't, and it was crooked and had all kind of problems. Oh, sorry about your foot.
First of all, rude. It's all right, I got another one. Second of all, glad I wore my boots today.
It was an accident, but when I'm tearing things up, you better clear away. I need a little safe zone right there.
Oh my goodness. Her shoes are all in one piece, so it's okay.
I got extra little padding on mine. So in the process of a little boot maintenance, I did take a bit of a spill.
You know what they call that? Karma.
Karma. I know they don't. I can't get up.
Woo, Joe's got a lot of work to do tonight.
Yeah.
He's gonna regret going to work this morning, isn't he?
Yes.
Once we remove all of the pavers, we lay out the new footprint and check the grade of the existing ground. Okay, so we want it to ride up on the house 3/4. Let's go down. All right, that should be just about right. You know, you wouldn't believe how many patios I've seen over the years where it actually slopes back towards the house. That means when it rains, water comes, gets around the foundation, never a good thing. Here, we're pretty lucky because the patio did have a nice slope away from the house. It just had a big brick planter that was keeping the water from flowing the way it should. Since the grade is already good, our next step is compressing the soil and broken mortar with a plate compactor. And Joe arrives home from work just in time to give it a try.
Just grab it and walk, that's all you have to do. So I just get in there and I start going. I thought I was gonna finish the whole thing and it was gonna be easy.
I was pretty jealous when Danny grabbed Joe and allowed him to go on the compactor.
Then all of a sudden, Audra sweeps me out of the way.
I like to drive all the toys out, and I like the power and the feeling behind all those tools.
The plate compactor has a plate that goes boom, 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 boom as you're pushing it, and so it's compacting the clay, the dirt, giving us a nice, strong foundation.
So once the soil is packed, it's time to add the paver base. We want to what we call paint the surface with it. So I'll cut the bags. That seems to be the easiest thing to do.
Ah, but that's why I got my razor blade.
No.
So Dad, is paver base really that much better than dirt?
Oh yeah, definitely, because dirt can have all kinds of different makeup and consistencies. Some of it just will not compact, but this type of material that has big and small particles will pack perfectly. That's why we don't have to pour a concrete slab. But you're gonna be glad you have those, because you're part of the screed board, and this is actually a screed board.
I thought that they were just starting to make up words on the spot.
By using just a straight board, you're able to really even everything out.
It looked just like a 2x4 to me, so.
So Dad, if we call it a screed board instead of a 2x4, do we get to charge more?
Yeah, I think it's worth a lot more.
There we go.
Heck yeah, that's going way up to over $100.
Oh, wow.
When the paver base is all graded, Chelsea runs the plate compactor over the space again, while Bear gets Joe and Audra started chipping the mortar off of the old pavers.
So the object is to hit this and not this.
Hit this, not this?
No. Don't break the brick.
All right, I'll race you.
You know, it seems like a very simple process. You lift the pavers, you clean the little bit of mortar off, you stack them, and you reuse them.
Not so much.
It's not turning out that way.
No.
It's gonna be a really small patio.
Yeah.
So we set them up with an air chisel to speed things up. Is that working a lot better, I'm sure?
It is,
It
yes.
still is surprising that stuff is sticking as hard as it is. Now, we only have one of these, so we have some bricks over here, Joe, that we have to do. So you got your hammer, and it might get late, Joe. So we got your headlamp.
Okay, I'm ready.
Darkness will not stop you from doing your appointed deed.
I'm calling it a night. I finished my pavers.
You know, she walks out, she's showered and ready, she's going to bed, and I'm just thinking, I could use an extra set of hands here. So I had to stay out there pretty late.
Have fun.
You know, maintaining your landscape can require a lot of different tools, and that can get really expensive. So it's always nice when you can find a combination kit that kind of has a couple of those tools in it so you can get more bang for your buck. Now, I've got one here by Dewalt. This is the blower, but you've got the string trimmer, so let's talk about yours first.
Sure will. Dewalt has a 14-inch string trimmer powered by a 20-volt battery, 2-speed switch for control, but it also breaks in the middle for storage, so it folds in half.
That is fantastic. Now that same 20-volt battery, once you finish using your trimmer, you can pop it on the blower and get all of that yard debris out of the way. Now I like this blower. It's very lightweight, it's not loud at all, and it's got variable speed. I can either control it with a trigger or right here with the gradual slide right there. So if you're in the market for a combination kit, this is a good choice.
We're recycling Joe and Audra's patio pavers for their outdoor space. So the first chore of day 2 is pressure washing them before Chelsea and Audra tackle Joe's fire pit.
I feel bad being the one to take Joe's fire pit apart.
It's definitely time, as you can see. When we're normally out here, we can't use our camping chairs. We have to use our beach chairs because
So
they're
you're
lower
lower
to the ground. But this was his first DIY project, and he's really proud of it.
So it's a little bittersweet that we're tearing apart his first home improvement project that he did at their house.
I think it would be an emotional time for him right now.
Aw. To lay out the new fire pit, we're using a stake and a string as a compass so that we can begin digging and get a nice foundation for the blocks that will later become the fire pit. We're basically just going to lay them centered on the gaps in these blocks.
Okay.
And then we'll shift the next course and do the same thing.
Okay.
It's just like you would see bricks on a house, layered like that.
Okay.
While the fire pit is drying, all we want to do is get about 1 inch over this compacted fill.
Okay.
We'll screed it out a little bit, and then it'll be paver time then. So
Sounds
just
good.
drag them around. We start spreading the sand on the patio foundation.
Didn't realize there were so many layers to a patio.
It's a lot easier to screed sand, isn't it?
A lot easier. And also it makes you feel like, okay, we're just about to install the pavers.
Yeah.
That's where the excitement was really starting to come about, because we were starting to see the formation of the backyard transformation. But what was really cool was Chelsea's brilliant mind that created this pattern.
Since the shape of our patio is pretty basic and we're using pretty basic pavers, I thought we would add a little pizzazz by adding some pea gravel joints. So we'll have 8 blocks in a basket weave pattern with pea gravel around it, creating a grid across the entire patio. Oh, we might need to scoot our assembly line down a little bit. Now I try and be humble, but the assembly line was my idea.
Was
Because
it?
I was walking back and forth, and I was like, I could just stay right here and just rotate.
Yeah.
I like this.
Well, my idea didn't work out at all, because what I had planned on is showing how it was to be done and cycling out of it. And then all of a sudden I have 3 people throwing pavers at me. And I laid every one of them, 400 of them, 408.
You counted?
And a half.
By the end of the day, the pavers are in place. So at the start of day 3, I lay out the columns to support our countertop while Chelsea and Audra line the fire pit with mortar.
I did just do this on a house in Costa Rica 2 weeks ago. I was able to go on a missions trip to Costa Rica, and part of our work that we did there was help build a classroom for the chicos, the little boys. This is a little bit more challenging though, with it being circular.
Since I don't use a trowel every day, I'm not really sure how to get the look that I'm going for. The tools aren't working, you go back to the basics. But I do know how to do it with my hands, and so sometimes that's just the best option. I like to be one with my materials.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, it's a little bit of a challenge with these uneven bricks, but this will be the tell right here. Let's see.
I bet I'll do it.
We're getting good at this.
Next, we sweep sand into the paver joints while the columns dry. Speaking of drying time, about a week ago, our handyman Bear formed up a concrete countertop for this project. He poured it upside down in our workshop and now is ready to come out of the forms.
When we flip it over, man, that thing,
Look at there.
oh yeah,
Nice. And it's just smooth.
it blows my mind. The thing looks amazing.
After a little sanding to soften the edges, the countertop is ready for its new home.
We get it in place, and I was just thinking, man, this looks awesome.
Then the next part was the staining. And that I was really intrigued by, because I didn't know that you could stain concrete.
Once the stain dries, we fill the voids with pea gravel and coat the whole surface with a masonry sealer to complete our recycled patio. Joe and Audra have a nice sized backyard, but the old retaining wall closed them off from it, and the aging patio was a little rough and difficult to enjoy, not to mention Joe's micro fire pit. With the retaining wall gone, the patio is larger, more open, and has much more character, thanks to the addition of the pea gravel grid. The stain and sealer have given new life to the old recycled pavers, and the simple concrete counter sitting on the recycled brick columns will make family meals and entertaining even easier. Plus, we did it all with less than $800 in new materials.
Honestly, it's better than I could have possibly imagined. I was really glad that we were able to reuse those bricks, because they had a lot of character built into them.
All the reusing of all the materials and everything, I think that's really exciting for us. But then it also brings a story for each thing. We were like, oh, remember when we built that? Or remember when we did that? We wanted a place that we could have family and friends and come over and feel like home, and not it be a hazard like it was before. So we could not be more proud and excited about our new backyard.
You know, over the years, on the hundreds and hundreds of remodeling projects I've done, it seems like people always want to just tear everything out and throw it away. But you may want to take a closer look at a few of the things you're tearing out, just as we did, to see if you can't recycle them to save our resources and to save you a little money. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner. When you use some of the construction terms we use, like a screed board, it's kind of like throwing bait out there to see if they'll ask or if they'll just go, I'm gonna look that up on Google tonight.
You're such a stinker.
Next week, we're taking on a lofty project as we help a family adapt their home to fit their changing needs.